I am a gourmand fragrance lover. If you don't know what a gourmand fragrance is, basically it's a fragrance that smells like food. Now, sometimes fragrances can smell completely edible, like they smell exactly like food, but I also use gourmand to describe fragrances that have fruity notes, particularly more like warm fruity notes. I'm not really talking about fruits here for the most part, but they have warm fruity notes. And although they may not smell completely edible, they definitely go that gourmand leaning route. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you some gourmand fragrances that you need to try this fall. Before we get into the video, I do want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who may be new here. My name is Aisha. I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as I said, the fragrances we're going to be talking about today are going to be gourmand fragrances that I think that you should try if you have not already. So the way I decided to do this video is to break it down by note. So we'll go through each note, and for each note, I'll have 2 fragrances to share with you. Generally, I try to pick one that is more affordable, and the other one may not necessarily be affordable, but we all know affordability is based on the person, based on the circumstances. So just know that for me, I try to include fragrances that I consider affordable. I am a person who loves my niche fragrances, but I know sometimes they are very pricey. So I just wanted to be cognizant of that when I share these fragrances with you, because I didn't just include them because they were cheap. I don't have any that I included just because they're cheap. I honestly wear all the fragrances that I mentioned here, and I think just because a fragrance is not expensive does not mean it is not good. So let's go ahead and get into these fragrances. So the first category I have is caramel. Now, caramel seems to be very popular right now, and for good reason. I myself plan on doing a caramel video, but in today's video, I wanted to share with you 2 fragrances that I think are worth a smell, worth a try, worth a decant if you have not tried them already. Now, I'm going to start with one that I promise, don't click out of the video, okay, when I show this fragrance. Do not click out of the video, but this fragrance has been around for years, for probably decades. It is a fragrance I've had in my collection for decades, probably. But it is not popular in the fragrance community anymore, and I know why, and we'll talk about the reasons why. But don't click out, y'all. Watch the rest of this video. Don't click out when you see this fragrance. So the fragrance I'm talking about is Jessica Simpson Fancy. So the reason I said don't click out is because this is a celebrity fragrance, right? And I feel like almost everybody has tried this, but it's one that I feel like in this day and age, in 2022, nobody talks about, but it's still pretty darn good when it comes to the caramel. So this fragrance to me is a sugary sweet caramel fragrance. It does have some florals in the background. It does have this sparkling nature that kind of gives it like a, to me, it gives it like a sparkling cider effect. There's no apple or anything in this, but when I smell it, it gives it like a sparkling caramel cider type feeling to it. And it's beautiful. Like, I know it's a celebrity fragrance, but I don't care. I still wear this. Now, do I wear it very often? No, but that's mainly because I have worn this fragrance for a long time. So now I pretty much only wear this to bed or around the house or whenever I have a feeling to wear it. But I've probably gone through like 3 of the big bottles of this. I do have this small bottle now, but it is so good. It is delicious smelling without smelling overly gourmand. It does not smell edible. It smells sophisticated and just very pretty and feminine. And I don't think it's overpowering, but I actually think this has pretty good projection. When I wear this fragrance out, I always get a compliment. Always. And it's old. And it's a celebrity perfume. And I don't go overboard with the sprays with this one, but every single time I wear this, I swear a cashier or somebody has to tell me I smell good. So I definitely had to mention this because when I think about a caramel fragrance, this is honestly the first one I think about. So again, that is Jessica Simpson Fancy. This next fragrance is on the tip of everyone's tongues right now, it seems, on YouTube. But I honestly wasn't going to include it because I have heard people talk about it a lot recently. But I felt like I would be true to myself if I did not include it. So this is What About Pop from the House of Oud. Look at this bottle, y'all. Look at this bottle. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. So this fragrance is a caramel popcorn scent. That's what I get the most from this. Now, it smells quite sweet. It's pretty dense. And for me, I don't know that this will be for everybody because it is kind of more on the literal side. However, it is done so well. I am not a person who chases after popcorn notes and fragrances. Sometimes I don't like them. Sometimes I think they smell like body odor. Sometimes I think they just are like suffocating. This one is really, really good, y'all. It smells like caramel popcorn, like you're at a fair or something. But once it dries down on the skin, it just becomes more well blended, more easier to digest, and it's not so overpowering. It kind of has this toasted quality about it that I really love. And the caramel of this is just top notch. So I would definitely say try to get your nose on this one. I don't think this is necessarily a safe blind buy unless you know you love sweet edible scents. So again, this is What About Pop from the House of Oud. The next category I have is coffee. So again, I'm thinking about doing a coffee video. Let me know if that's something you want to see. But the first fragrance that I have for this category is from Contour Sud Pacifique, and this is Vanille Cafe. So this is a vanilla latte scent, to put it simply. You definitely smell the coffee in this, but to me, this is overrode more by that vanilla, slightly milky, very sweet smell. So this is the type of vanilla latte that like a beginner coffee drinker would drink. Like it's basically just sweet milk with a little bit of coffee in there. Like if you're a Frappuccino lover or something like that, I could see you liking a scent like this. This is definitely does not smell like you spilled coffee all over yourself. This is more of like a sweeter, creamy coffee. It's delicious smelling though. It doesn't smell cheap. It smells really beautiful, kind of toasty smelling, especially in the dry down. And I've actually gotten compliments when I've worn this fragrance as well. So again, that is Vanille Cafe from Contour Sud Pacifique. The next fragrance is from Kilian, and this is Intoxicated. And I have to say, this one is on the other end of the spectrum from Vanille Cafe in so many ways. Number one, the price. This is extremely expensive. Well, I shouldn't say extremely, but it's expensive, okay? It's expensive to me. So this is expensive. And it's on the opposite side of the spectrum when it comes to smell as well. This is for the coffee lovers. So you smell a big blast of coffee initially mixed with cardamom. And to me, the coffee and cardamom kind of compete, but not in a bad way, but they are both very, very prominent. So this is a spicy coffee scent. I've heard that Turkish coffee smells like this. I've never had Turkish coffee, so some of y'all can chime in the comment section and let us know. But I have heard that this smells similar to Turkish coffee. But to me, this smells like just a strong, spicy, bold coffee. This is not for the wallflower, okay? Again, I don't necessarily think you smell like you spilled coffee on yourself, because if you've ever spilled coffee on yourself, it doesn't smell that good. Like it doesn't smell like fresh roasted coffee. When I spill coffee on myself, to me, it smells like almost like acidic. I don't know. It doesn't smell good. It smells not good. Although I love the smell of coffee, when I spill it on myself and it dries, it does not smell good at all. So this does not smell like you spilled coffee on yourself, but it smells like you have a freshly roasted cup of coffee with cardamom in it. It does have some other spices in here too, maybe something like nutmeg or cinnamon. That's what it smells like to me anyway. And possibly ginger, I'm not sure. But cardamom is definitely the spice that stands out the most in this to me. This is deep, dark, heavy, great for cold weather. Definitely unisex. Possibly leans slightly masculine, but I wear this and I love it. I just have to be in the mood for this because it is a quite strong, potent scent. So again, this is Intoxicated by Kilian. So the next category is cherry. And again, I'm hoping to have a cherry video coming up. Let me know if y'all want to see that. I know I sound like a broken record, but honestly, let me know, because I know a lot of people are doing these categories, so I don't want to be redundant, but I feel like I have some cherry fragrances that I really love. And because of that, I'm quite picky with my cherry fragrances now. So if y'all want to see a cherry video, let me know. I don't know when it'll happen, but I am in the midst of kind of like taking notes on certain fragrances that I have in my collection to prepare for a cherry video. So anyway, the first fragrance I have in this category is Khaltat Night, and this is by Attar Collection. I love these bottles. So I actually sit my bottle in my collection like this. because I don't necessarily love the logo and all, but I love this print and it just looks so luxe sitting in my collection. Anyway, y'all don't care about the bottles. This fragrance is gorgeous. This is a deep, dark cherry. So to me, this smells like cherry and tobacco and honey, some woody notes, quite spicy, a little bit sweet, and it almost smells very slightly boozy. But I wouldn't really classify this as a boozy scent, but it kind of smells like there could be rum or something in the background of this fragrance. This is gorgeous. It is sexy. This is date night. It is just perfect for cooler, colder weather. Now, I'm not saying these are dupes, but I think if you like fragrances like Angel Share, Invite Only from Kayali, you would love this. This smells divine, y'all. It smells so well done, well blended. It's not scratchy at all. It's not sharp. It's just smooth around all the edges. And although it's a deep, dark fragrance, I find this pretty easy to wear. The cherry is nice and sweet and smells a little bit juicy. And in my opinion, it does not smell medicinal. This fragrance is just delicious smelling. So again, that is Khaltat Night from Attar collection. The next fragrance that I have is from Mancera, and this is Wild Cherry. So this fragrance is very good. The cherry in this is not overly sweet. It kind of smells like cherry mixed with like bitter almond. It doesn't smell medicinal in my opinion, but there is definitely a fizzy nature to this. Kind of like what you would expect a cherry soda to smell like without being extremely sweet. Like not a sweet cherry soda, but just like natural cherry soda. That makes absolutely no sense, but hopefully y'all feel me. Like if you've ever smelled cherry Fanta, it doesn't smell like that, okay? This doesn't smell like that because that to me smells sugary, syrupy, sweet. This smells like if you had a soda that you made out of like actual cherries. Hopefully it makes sense. But anyway, this is beautiful. It is slightly powdery, and so I think that keeps it from smelling too edible. And even though cherry is all the rage now, I don't find this one to be one that people talk about a lot, but they should. This smells really good. And if you are a cherry lover, I definitely think this is the one you should try to get your nose on. So again, that is Wild Cherry from Mancera. The next category is chocolate. And so the first fragrance I have for this category is Mancera Choco Violet. I have been loving this, y'all. I feel like I've mentioned this quite a bit over the last couple months, but I love it. It's gorgeous. So the chocolate in this smells very rich and sweet, like a Gourmand milk chocolate. There is a violet note in this fragrance as well, which to me is like a powdery floral. I know there are some people that have Parma violets that they eat. Hopefully I'm not getting this wrong. I've never eaten anything like that, but I have heard that people eat that and that this smells like that type of candy. I can't really speak on that because I've never eaten it. But again, if you have, put it in the comments down below. But to me, the violet makes it smell a little bit less edible, like not straight chocolate. It gives it some interest, and this is just so well done. I know Mancera gets a lot of flack for having synthetic smelling scents, but this one smells absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. Like this is one that I cannot get enough of. Every time I spray it, I have to keep smelling myself. This is one that I think is perfect for date nights, for Netflix and chill. I think you can wear this during the day as well, but for me, chocolate is more about a comfort. So I typically just wear this at night, but I think in cooler weather, you could definitely wear this during the day. So again, that is Choco Violet from Mancera. This next fragrance is newer to my collection, but has already made an impression on me. This is Xerjoff Symphonium. So I've only worn this twice to bed or at night at my house, but I love this fragrance, y'all. So this smells like chocolate and oranges. The orange scent that I get out of this is sweet, but it's also quite bright and citrusy. It doesn't go that route of smelling like bathroom cleaner, which I have smelled with other fragrances that feature orange. This one doesn't go that route. This one is so well done. The chocolate in this, again, smells very luxurious. It doesn't smell overly sweet in my opinion. I think this is a sweet fragrance, but it doesn't smell like, if I had to say what kind of chocolate it was, I wouldn't say milk chocolate, maybe more so like semi-dark chocolate. This is gorgeous though. It is gorgeous. It smells quite edible, but as this fragrance wears on the skin, I think that even if you don't love super edible scents, you may still like this one because once it wears, it kind of mellows out and you get those other notes to start to come in so that it smells more like a fragrance as opposed to smelling more like food. Overall, it's gorgeous. Love it. Don't have too much to say about longevity or anything like that because I've only worn this fragrance twice and it's been at nighttime. But I will say that no regrets on this one at all. I picked this up during my birthday haul when I was just blowing money fast apparently, and no regrets, y'all. No regrets on Symphonium. It is absolutely gorgeous. So again, that is Symphonium from Xerjoff. The next category I have is almond, and the first fragrance from this category is from Contour Sous Pacifique, and this is Éclats d'Amandes. So this fragrance, I think, is a fragrance that made me really realize how much I love almond in fragrances. So this smells like almonds. It's slightly sweet though. It doesn't really smell milky, but it almost has like this creamy effect to it. It's slightly sweet. It is nutty. And basically it just smells like really good almonds, y'all. Although it is a sweeter fragrance, I don't think that it is sugary. It just smells like that nutty sweetness. It's really good. It's quite simple, but I love this one. It actually lasts a long time too. I know Contour Sous Pacifique they're not known for longevity, but this is one of the eau de parfums. Most of their fragrances, I think, are eau de toilettes. This is one of the eau de parfums, and I find that it lasts pretty well. So at least like 7-8 hours. To me, that's pretty well anyway. And I like to wear this alone, but I definitely think that this would be a good scent to layer with if you want to add like a little bit more of an almond touch to any of your fragrances. So I definitely think this is one you should have in your collection. It's not expensive. And I definitely think you should get your nose on this if you love almond or if you're just kind of getting into the almond world. This is a nice one to start out with. So again, that is Éclats d'Amandes from Contour Sous Pacifique. This next fragrance is from Mask Milano, and this is Madeline. Now this fragrance was sent to me from Max Aroma a while ago. So I did want to mention that, but my opinions are my own, guys. This fragrance is gorgeous. This smells like almond biscotti. If you ever had biscotti, I don't like biscotti personally. I don't think it's sweet enough, but if you've ever had it, it's kind of that like dry pastry type. It's kind of like almost like stale bread. That's the that's the vibe I get from biscotti when I eat it. But it smells really good. It smells to me like what I would expect a French pastry shop to smell like. That kind of like dry sweetness. That is what this fragrance smells like almond biscotti. It definitely smells literal in my opinion. It does kind of have this toasted quality to it, very warm feeling. But although this to me is a edible, like more literal gourmand, I think this one is pretty easy to wear because it's not heavy, it's not overpowering, it's not extremely sweet, it's not a dense scent. And so I actually have worn this when it was hot. I wore it in the summer a little bit, not too much. I mean, I don't have much of a dent. I've only worn it like 3 times, but I've worn it when it was hot. But I think this will really shine in the fall just because it smells like a pastry, y'all. It really smells like a flaky pastry or like biscotti. It's so good, y'all. It is so good. This is one that I really love to sniff. Although I don't wear it much, this is one that I sniff a lot because it just smells like a pastry shop. And I'm not really into those kind of pastries, to be completely honest. Like I'm more into the cookies, the cakes, the real American overly sweet stuff. Like that's the kind of like desserts I'm into besides chocolate. But this smells like a very high class French patisserie. So anyway, that is Madeline from Mask Milano. The next and final category I have is apple. And I think apple fragrances are just perfect for fall. Like they always put me in the fall mood. I think about Thanksgiving. I think about apple picking, which I've never done, but that's the vibe that comes to mind whenever I smell an apple fragrance. So I definitely had to include this category in this video. So the first fragrance that I have is from Nobile 1942, and this is La Danza de Libellule. Probably pronounced that wrong, but I am trying, guys. I tried my best to say it correctly, but we're just going to call it La Danza for the rest of the time that I'm holding it. But this fragrance is gorgeous. So to me, this smells like a very crisp red apple mixed with caramel. There is no caramel listed in the notes if I'm remembering correctly, but that's what it smells to me, like a very crisp red apple mixed with caramel. It smells almost juicy and it just smells so good, y'all. It reminds me of like a very expensive apple cider, caramel apple cider. It is so good. Now this fragrance I haven't had for too long. This is my first time actually sharing it in a video, but as soon as I got this, I had to open it and spray it on myself. And I have worn it, I think I think twice. I think I've worn this twice. And I love it, y'all. I love it. So although it's only been in my collection a couple weeks, like it's already made it to a video because I absolutely love this. Now I feel like this was popular probably about 2 years ago in the fragrance community, but it's not as popular now. But it's still gorgeous, y'all. It is still gorgeous. It's so sweet, but it's not too heavy. It just smells so addictive and delicious. This is one you definitely need to get your nose on. I have heard this being compared to Casablanca from Swiss Arabian. And if y'all want to know more about that, let me know, because I do have a comparison video coming up with some other fragrances, and I can include those two fragrances if you want. But this one is absolutely gorgeous. Definitely need to get your nose on it if you like apple fragrances and if you like gourmand fragrances. So again, that is La Danza from Nobile 1942. The last fragrance that I have is from Gallagher Parfums, and this is Rosé All Day. Now again, I feel like this fragrance was popular on YouTube probably about 2 years ago, and I picked it up probably like 2 falls ago, like not last fall, but the fall before that. And I have to say, I neglected it last fall, but this fall, I'm about to be wearing it. It is so good. So this one has apple in it, and the apple is prominent. I think this is apple crisp, if I remember correctly. But the apple is prominent. It smells like an apple pie type fragrance, but there's also a very boozy note to this fragrance. So this is not a safe blind buy, okay? Because it is boozy, it's apple, it's sweet. I think this has brown sugar in it too, if I remember correctly. And there is a metallic note to this fragrance. I don't pick that up, but I know that is a note in this fragrance, and some people really get it and don't like it. I don't pick that up. To me, this smells like a very, very boozy apple pie or apple strudel or something like that. It is gorgeous, but it is quite sweet. It is quite heavy. A little bit goes a long way. And like I said, I have used this. I mean, it looks like I haven't though, right? See, there's not much of a dent. This is one that I would definitely not recommend overspraying because it could be too much, especially with that boozy note. But it's so good, y'all. This is so good. And I think, again, if you love apple, this is one you should definitely get your nose on, but probably don't blind buy it. Maybe see if you can get a sample. But it's absolutely stunning and quite unique. So again, that is Rosé All Day from Gallagher Parfums. So you guys, I am pretty much in gourmand heaven right now because all of these fragrances were so delicious smelling. Like, it smells so good in this room right now. Anyway, if you guys have tried any of the fragrances that I mentioned, let us know what you think of them down below. Also in the comments, let us know if there is a gourmand fragrance that you think everybody watching should try for fall of 22. So make sure that you not only leave a comment, but read through the other comments that people share, because y'all, my subscribers, y'all have some really great fragrance ideas. Y'all have great fragrance taste. And so if you're not reading those comments from the other viewers, you're missing out, okay? If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Turn your notification bell on so that you don't miss a video from me. And follow me over on Instagram where I give you guys sneak peeks. I haven't been as active lately just because I've had a lot of personal things going on. But generally, I'm pretty active in my stories and I always respond to your DM. So check me out on Instagram. I hope you enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.